Cookies are a very well-known treat that many enjoy. Today, we will be taking a look at how to make classic chocolate chip cookies. We will be taking a look at the ingredients in cookies, how to measure the ingredients, and how to mix the ingredients and bake the cookies. Now, let's go to Aldi to get our ingredients. Our first ingredient is flour, which adds structure to the cookies. Next, we have brown sugar and granular sugar, which both add flavor and texture to the cookies. Then we have baking soda, which acts as a leavening agent for the cookies, so that way you don't have flat cookies, because who would want those? And then next, we have vanilla, which adds flavor here to the cookies. Eggs, which are a binding agent that holds the ingredients together. We have salt, which adds flavor and texture. And then we have chocolate chips, which add flavor. And then butter, which is also flavor and texture. Next, we will be taking a look at some of the things we need to measure the ingredients. First, we will need a straight edge. This allows us to level off our ingredients, so that way we get the exact amount we want and don't have more or less than what we need. Next, we have measuring cups and measuring spoons. This allows us to measure our ingredients. Next, we have a spoon. Now, the spoon is used for a few things. It's used for mixing the ingredients as well as measuring the flour and the brown sugar. Because flour, you need to lightly spoon it into the measuring cup, or else you'll pack the flour, which is not something you want, because too much flour can be a bad thing, and you have cookies that taste like flour, and who would want that? And you need to pack the brown sugar, so that way you get enough of it. And then we have a mixing bowl, which we will need for mixing the ingredients. And then we will need a vegetable spray and a cookie sheet for baking the cookies. Now, the exact amount needed for this recipe is 2 1/4 cups flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda and salt, 2 sticks of butter, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 large eggs, and 1 package of our chocolate chips. Now, at the beginning of this video here, I talk about how it is a good idea, if you have long hair, to tie it back so that you do not get it in your cookies, because no one wants hair in your cookies. And then I also talk about the things we need. So first, what I start out with is mixing the vanilla, the brown sugar, the granulated sugar, and the butter. Before I do that, though, I mixed together the flour, the baking soda, and the salt, and set them aside in that bowl right there. So yeah, as you can see, I am mixing the flour along with the baking soda and salt, which are measured into that container. And then mix it with a spoon. And that's set aside for later. And then, as you can see, I cream together the vanilla, brown sugar, or the normal sugar, and the butter. And once you're done mixing those together, they should look a little something like that. And then we'll be ready to mix in our eggs. And you need to make sure to break the yolks and mix it well until it's all well combined. And this is what it should look like once it's mixed. And then we mix in the flour mixture. The thing is, we don't mix it all in at once. You mix it in like half at a time to make sure it gets properly combined. And then that is what it should look like once it is mixed. And then we stir in our chocolate chips. Best part. I'm having a little trouble with the bag there. Hi, past me. there we go. That is how you mix the ingredients. Now, once you have them mixed, you need to spray vegetable spray on your cookie sheet, so that way the cookies do not stick to the pan. And then you need to take out the cookie batter in balls about an inch in diameter, and then place them on the cookie sheet in rows, and you should be able to fit about 12 cookies per sheet. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that before we start mixing, we preheat our oven to 375 degrees, and then place the cookie sheets on the bottom rack. Now, the things we have gone over: the ingredients in cookies, how to measure our ingredients, and how to mix the ingredients and bake the cookies. Now that we have gone over these things, we now can make as many cookies as we want, even more than Cookie Monster could eat.